What's good, everyone? Today we are going to be ranking MrBeast's most recent videos by how good the intros are. Real quick, if you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitch. Alright, enjoy. Today we are going to be doing a tier list of the intros in MrBeast's most recent 20 videos. And the goal is to see what makes someone like MrBeast, who is one of the biggest people on the platform to my knowledge, something about his videos is obviously most captivating to a lot of people. So ideally we can at least learn something. And since we're going to start with his 20 most recent videos, we are going to start with his 20th and then work up to his most recent one, going in order, and we'll rate them. So just to get the ratings clear, S is me saying that I would want to watch that video no matter what. It doesn't matter that it's MrBeast. A is if someone's playing it, I will listen to it. I don't mind watching. B is I don't particularly care, but I think it's at least a good intro. C would be it's whatever. It's not his worst one, but it is what it is. And then F is it's a shitty intro. I don't want to watch the video. I don't think it's interesting. So that's how I'm going to describe it. Quickly, we're just going to go right into the most recent one. 16. I only have 16 of these. I got to go fix the playlist real quick. There we go. Perfect. Much better. Fixed. I've never used this website before. All right. So that's the first one. So quickly, for those who have never seen a MrBeast video, although that should literally be like 0 of you, he has a very clear formula, which is that his intros take like 20 to 30 seconds. They're very, very short, very punchy. He tries to convey all the information as quickly as possible. Couple things that stick out in this one. The background music is like very heroic. It's almost cinematic in a way. As you see here, he outlines the stakes immediately. So obviously the concept itself is somewhat interesting. Really interesting to most people is not the concept of twins in a competition necessarily. It's the fact that there's stakes that are in this concept that actually draw people in. I mean, you'll see that with anything. All YouTube videos essentially have this that are good. TV shows, think Survivor, have these same stakes that draw people in to want to continue doing more. This, in my opinion, is like the most generic sort of MrBeast, so it acts as a good baseline, honestly. So this is like, I think it's a B. Perfect for comparing the others to, which is 7 days exploring an underground city.
The next 7 days in this massive underground city.
How does this place exist?
Although it may look like...
If I'm being honest, I think this one is significantly better than the last one. And it comes down to this part right here.
Massive underground city.
That them highlighting the text in like this outward drone shot, to me, highlights like the almost grandiose nature of what this is, even though in reality it's, I mean, let's be real, this video is probably them just fucking around in a cave. They're probably not doing much, honestly. They have like almost an amusement park down here. It's not that scary, yet when you highlight just how massive the cave is, it almost seems like a complex. So in my opinion, this is better. Also, I mean, obviously I don't watch Kai Cenat or iShowSpeed, but I mean, if this is geared towards children who I think are primarily their audience, it'll definitely bring them in at least. I would say this is a. I don't know if it's S, like I'm not that interested of as a concept, but like it's definitely better than this one, if I'm being real. I'm gonna move on to the $1 versus $5,000 experiences, $500,000. English is not my first language. This is great. One, obviously, again, it's a short, very punchy, almost cinematic intro. What I really like about this one, I think it's an S tier already. He shows you almost everything, which is really cool. So, I mean, you can see, like here, he highlights $500,000. Maybe I should turn off the captions, but he highlights $500,000 while showing himself on top of this building, which I assume is Dubai. I think this is Dubai. It shows them in simulating low gravity environment, but it is highlighting the cost of it. So you already know what to expect as you're going into the video. It's almost like a thesis statement to an essay where in your introduction, you say your thesis, which he starts with, which is you're going to see everything that's changing in the video. And then he outlines every individual supporting paragraph, but he does that in 30 seconds very quickly. I think this one is easily an S tier. I think that one goes easily there. It's significantly better than these two, in my opinion. In fact, if I was comparing it, I would almost say that these two go down because this one is actually very interesting. This one is like, it's interesting. And this one's like, whatever. I don't particularly care. I don't know how to rate this one because immediately I give this F tier. So much more boring of a concept in comparison to especially the previous two. I also recognize that I don't particularly care about sports. So to me, it's Cristiano Ronaldo or something like that. Anthony Ronaldo. I don't know. I don't particularly care. I guess, I mean, there's the interesting aspect of it, which is it's like not just a random person, but it's like a subscriber, I guess. If I'm being 100% honest, it's a concept that's not that interesting in theory. I mean, you realize they're just going to lose. And then whenever they do, when a normal person does win, it's not going to even be that interesting, especially because they're not playing the actual sports, I'm guessing. It seems like, especially from the end of that intro, they're just doing goofy challenges. Yeah, right there. That's where it belongs. This one's interesting because it kind of doesn't have an obvious end to the intro. It just kind of gets right into it. It just keeps going. I kind of don't like that, honestly. You could argue it's a good thing. It gets people to immediately be invested and start watching. Speaking from my experience, I would rather it go clearly define the difference between an intro and the video, not blur the lines between the two. Sort of like that last video where I said it kind of outlines every single step where it goes beginning, middle, and end. This kind of had that, but it's trying to sort of interweave it with what's currently going on. And I think that's because it's mostly an ad for a show. I could be wrong. I do think this is more interesting than the last one, which was the Ronaldo one. I mean, I just don't know what to say. It's just kind of not what I would want. I feel like there's not much to say because this is sort of my opinion. Like, I can give a reason for why I don't care, but in reality, it's just kind of how I feel. I don't know. I give this one, it's more interesting than this. So I will leave that here. I think it's about as interesting as the cave one, probably a little bit less so, but it's like good. I mean, they keep highlighting the amount of money, but I feel like when it comes to MrBeast, I'm so tone deaf when it comes to like big numbers, big number. It's 5 million. That could have literally been $100,000 and you'd get the same effect. The number 5 million is not inherently interesting to me, so I don't know how to feel about it, but we can move on to the next one. I helped 2,000 people walk again. This is his philanthropy stuff, I'm pretty sure. This does it again where it sort of blurs the line between intro and an actual content. However, I do believe that this is better as it sort of has a natural conclusion. So that line there where we're going to start with Stephanie feels like a better transition from the intro into the content. This one is also obviously, I mean, it's him giving away the ability to walk, essentially, but it's very much appealing to emotion, right? I believe the word is pathos, right? Yeah, evokes pity or sadness, exactly. So he's appealing to the ability for a human to empathize with one another. So, I mean, you can see that with like, outside of just the concept itself, he has like the sad story, he has like light shining behind people to sort of highlight just how integral of a human experience walking is. And I do like the fact that he like mentions the fact that you don't even think about walking. For people who are able to walk, you just do it. Maybe you say, I'm going to go on a hike, but you're not thinking about the fact that you are going to be moving your legs. You're just thinking about how much you're going to enjoy the actual hike itself. I mean, I hate to say this because it feels wrong. It's not the greatest intro we've seen. I mean, if I'm being real, I think it's a B tier. I think this one's actually A. I think I had it there originally. I think it is. I think this is B. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It feels wrong. I mean, I'm not ableist, okay? I think it's great that he gave people the ability to walk. I just don't think it's nearly as good of an intro as this video. This video is really good, and I think the concept of this video from a content perspective is much more engaging. There's almost the argument I would have. As much as I love the intro in this, I do think it's a good intro. I don't think it's as good as used to. As I said, it's good. The content itself, I feel like doesn't need to exist. From my perspective, just watching the intro just goes, I'm glad you did that. Why are you recording it? Just move on. That's how I feel, at least. That's it. Wow, okay. That wasn't even really an intro. I mean, it was, but I mean, I guess it hits all the things I've talked about. It's really quick, which I gotta respect. He just gets right into it, but it sort of relies on the fact that you've seen a MrBeast video before, which I think is not a good way to do it. I think you should not focus on what people already know. I mean, I can't complain. It's got 134 million views. I mean, there you can see 134 million right here. I mean, all it does is quickly give you the stakes and then just move straight into it, which I would argue could be a way to do it. It's just not what I like personally. So I think this one belongs in F tier, because also there's other videos of his that exist like this that are just much more interesting and in intro, at least it's much more catching. I mean, this video is basically the exact same thing, or even the twin one, same. It's essentially the same thing, but the intro was much more interesting in those. Yeah, I put that one F tier. All right, this is good. This is actually very good. Okay, I think this one is S tier immediately. I think the reason it's S tier has to do with the fact that the stake is inherently just, you're not allowed even in the pyramids. I mean, everyone learns about ancient Egypt in school, at least in the United States. I would assume that's probably true for most of the Western world. So going into that, that's already easily, you have a massive audience to draw from for that. Secondly, you go forward and no one is allowed to even step on the pyramids. You will go to jail. There's been multiple times in the news, people have seen this, like tourists going out of their way to step on the pyramids and then being arrested by the Egyptian police. So the fact that they get to go in, it's exciting because you don't know what to expect because it's never been done before. Not at least super publicly from my knowledge. I bet you there's some documentary that probably does it, but it has that sort of unchy MrBeast vibe. So there's the stakes of you get to see something for the first time, but you also have the double stakes of him proposing this danger that probably doesn't actually exist. I'm sure they had someone with them to like make sure they're safe, but when you think of a tomb, I mean, you think of the horror movies where you're just horrified there might be a mummy or something, but this is just inherently good. I like this one a lot. I think it's very good. So I think this is an S tier. Spent 100 hours. I mean, yeah, it goes right up there. It's perfect. This, I think, is so far the best competition style intro that MrBeast has done. Puts the stakes, it highlights all the things we've already seen, money, people, right? But a couple things. One, I think this setup is much more interesting. Having everybody circled around, it makes the place seem small. Like, I like how connected it is with everyone. Everyone's right next to each other. So thinking about that, I also think it's very interesting that he actually did a real intro this time. Like, he talked about the stakes and what the game is going to be, and then he goes, ending it with good luck. I mean, you get an actual conclusion to the intro. So in your head, you just see, okay, here's what's not matters, it's just introduction, and then here's the actual video, which I personally highly respect. I think that's a much more interesting way to start a video. I also just want to quickly note, it's just funny. You look at all of these video titles and they look the exact same. It's the thumbnails are obviously very similar, but they're different. But like the actual titles of the videos, like I'm looking at them and I just think it's funny just how similar they are. It makes it harder to find them on the tier list, even though I included the titles with the photo. So I think this is about A tier. I think this one's better than these two. Yeah, I think that's a good way to think about it. What was the thumbnail? That? I don't see it in here. Do I have this thumbnail in here? Yeah, I do. It's right there. This one kind of sucks. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just like, these are obviously not real snakes, which I mean, obviously, but the CGI in my opinion is so bad that you're like, he's not in danger of anything. Like, it doesn't, you're not scared, even though it's supposed to be a scary situation. Going a little bit forward, that ice, I mean, I bet you that is actually real footage of ice. It looks like it, but it looked fake when he was climbing it for the first time. Let's see. Like here, this does not look real. Again, it's another case of like, it feels fake, and so the danger doesn't feel any real. I think that's sort of a hard thing to do, actually. It might sound weird, but it's hard to convey stakes in a video like this, because like, why should someone care, right? If I don't think you're in danger, where your stakes are immediately gone. I don't particularly care when watching the video. You could do the most insane stunts, but if I think you're safe while doing them, my suspension of disbelief is shattered immediately. So I'm gonna give this one an F tier. I think it's just, what's sad is I think the actual thumbnail is pretty good. I also think the title is really good. It's a great concept, but you don't feel the danger that he's alluding to, which is the problem. All right, This is a much better intro than the previous Pathos one. So the previous one without walking, I think, again, it was a good intro. It's just you immediately have the concept of why do you watch it? And this immediately solves that by making it so there's a call to action to actually watch the video. Because if you watch it, you are actively contributing to helping these children. It changes it from a viewing relationship to you are a part of this. You are helping. You're almost a donor in a way, even though you realistically aren't. It has obviously all the same notes of emotion of like, hey, like these kids need help, or this might sound weird, but the fact that it's not one thing that they're trying to solve, like before they were just trying to give people the ability to walk again, but here you're doing a lot. You're feeding children, you're building houses, you're protecting children from child labor. Yeah, I mean, that's a big one. Can't believe I forgot that. That's pretty fucked up of me. All of those combined sort of take away, it's like, again, it's suspension of disbelief, but also at the same time, because you're an active participant in the saving of the children, it's like, oh, I'm doing all that. I'm protecting the kids. I'm building those houses. I'm protecting them from child labor. I'm feeding them. Like, I'm a good person. It makes you feel good, even though objectively you've done nothing. You've just clicked on a video. In a way, I think this one actually, I don't know if it's S tier, but it's definitely A tier. It's a very good intro. Honestly, no, I think it is S tier just because of the call to action. I think that's so smart, even if it's kind of fucked up that he's taking advantage of poor people to generate views. That's a great way to start a video. It's an insanely good intro. Oh. This was really good until the end. And this is gonna sound so stupid. I think it's genius for him to start with the rock falling and it showing you actively pull the chain, because it automatically sets a timer to the intro, which might sound stupid. Like, it might sound like a weird thing to care about, but I think it builds suspense, right? You're wondering, like, when is he gonna actually hit the water, right? But he jumps in before the chain is done, so it kind of kills that suspense in a way, because now the diver is control of his fate, which sounds stupid, but in my opinion, it takes away from the interest. If I'm being honest, I think this could have been an S tier if it wasn't for that. This is easily an A tier though. This is very good. I mean, it has all of the hallmarks we've seen already of a good intro, but him jumping in the water ruined it, which sounds really dumb, but that's how I feel. I feel like I gotta make a face for the YouTube video. Like, I feel like I gotta do like a YouTuber face, like, oh, yo, like shit like that, you know, stupid shit. All right, well, I mean, I'll give this one an A tier. It's a good thumbnail. So it's literally just one for one the Egyptian intro essentially, which, this is gonna sound stupid. I gave that one an S tier, but having just watched it, this one turns into an A tier. But also, this might be biased, but like, the Mayans are not nearly as interesting to Egyptians when you think about a general audience. In my opinion, I think Mayan culture is more interesting historically, but when you're thinking about your general audience, most people know about Egyptians way more than they know Mayans. So you sort of lose people on that. And then again, because I just watched this, it's just not nearly as interesting. So I'm gonna give this one A tier though, because it's literally the same thing. So I feel like if I give that one anything less when I gave this one S tier, it feels wrong. I mean, it's just the exact same intro. It's literally the exact same. This one is a C tier, because not only is it the exact same thing we just saw, but I think it's just less interesting. I thought the intro before was a bit better. And I think part of the reason why the intro before was better is it started by showing the immediate contrast between great player and lower or unskilled player, or I guess random viewer, if you want to use that terminology. Whereas this only highlights the skillness of the players, which might sound good, but I think that contrast really helps. I think this one, it's not, this is an F tier. That's actually C tier. I think this one's F tier if I'm comparing the two. Yeah, I think that's probably a better way of doing it. $1 versus $500,000 day. So full disclaimer, I've actually watched this video before. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I don't remember the intro, so we'll see how that goes. All right, this one is a shitty intro. I actually don't think it's good. Starting with the immediate Disney, which, I mean, I guess Disney is a cool date idea, but I don't think it's nearly as interesting as it sounds in theory. Like, Disney is big, but like, Disney is not that interesting. And then furthermore, the animated fireworks were really bad. You can see that. The Gordon Ramsay meal, I mean, that's kind of cool. Like, don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people out there would Where was it? Where is it?
Ginormous ski resort. A $50,000 private island.
Private island's cool. Other than that, jet skis are also fun. Here we go. Gordon Ramsay cooking them a meal. That sounds great. And I think it's very interesting. Obviously, he's a celebrity. But in terms of the punchiness of this intro, like, even though it has all of the pieces that I've already said make a good intro for MrBeast, I think it's not nearly as good. I don't know how to describe it. It's hard to say. Like, I just don't think it's that good. I feel like it's worse than these. I don't know. It just goes to the bottom, I guess. I'm sorry. I want to emphasize though that like a bad MrBeast intro is significantly better intro than 99% of YouTube videos. It's better than anything I've ever made. Let me put that out there. This is literally my 3rd ever video, and I'm sure the intro that I make for this will be horrible. It's still not great compared to the rest of these. So that's why it's going at the bottom.
This is my friend Matt.
Oh, this is the video of the coach, right? Okay, I'm not going to talk about that, but that was interesting. I've watched this video. It's actually very good. All right. I think this intro is a B tier. I think the stakes, I mean, obviously there's money to win, which I think, you know, it's great because you think at home, like, oh, I could easily lose that weight for that much money. Like, it immediately draws you, like, I could do that. It attacks that monkey part of your brain that thinks you're better, that you're the GOAT, when in reality, you're really not. You're just some dude. But what I think is actually more interesting is the challenge itself. Unlike all the other challenges, which are sort of abstract concepts of like, oh, I'm just gonna survive danger, or I'm gonna go in this pyramid, or I'm going to stay in the water trying not to drown. I think having it as lose weight is much more interesting to the average person, because I think, at least in the United States, like, isn't it like 60% of people are obese? A lot of people are overweight. I mean, I'm overweight. I'll tell you that right now. It's much more relatable to the average person. And so there's at least the interest from there of like, okay, even if you don't particularly care about the challenge itself, you will potentially want to watch this just to see the losing weight part. I honestly think though, what kind of ruins it is the second half of the introduction. I think like the whole stepping out of the circle thing, I get he does it a lot because I think for a kid it's a lot more interesting, like drawing an exact boundary, but I think it adds nothing, and in fact, in my opinion, detracts. Because if you were doing it for real, I think the L is just leaving in general. It doesn't matter if you leave the whole circle. It's more the act of giving up that I think would be more interesting. I think they should have emphasized that instead. Going into it, I'm gonna give this one an A tier though. It's very, very good. Thumbnail is very funny though, with the fake abs on MrBeast. I think I have it. This is so funny to me. The fake abs right here, and then the very fake fat body, and his head doesn't even fit on either of them right. They sort of just phoned it in at that point, which is great. All right, funnily enough, I think this is an amazing concept for a video. I think what ruins it is starting with Cheetah in F1 car. If he started with like this, which is a lion strong, or a man stronger than a lion, it's much more enticing because the question is not that easy to answer. You actually don't know. I have no idea if this guy is stronger or not than the lion. I kind of want to know. I'd rather continue to watch. However, I think everyone here kind of knows like the Cheetah's not going to win against the F1 car. F1 cars go at like hundreds of miles per hour. I'm pretty sure if I remember off the top of my head, a Cheetah can go 70 miles per hour for like 5 seconds. Fast, very, very fast. But it's not an F1 car, right? I don't know. I think it ruins the video starting with that. I think if you started with literally any of the other concepts, it's much better of an intro. So that's my opinion. I think this, for that reason, will go down to C tier. Because it's a good intro, because all the other things are very interesting, all the other concepts, but that is just not. The thumbnail's good. I'll give it that. Yeah, this sucks. This is an F tier easily. I mean, it's just, if I'm being real, it's just not that interesting. A private jet doesn't seem like that scary of a thing to be trapped in. Just to be completely honest with you, I can think of a lot worse to be in for your life. I mean, a private jet's nice. I mean, sure, I guess your food is like, what, airplane food, which isn't even that bad. Like, it's not great. I mean, it's like your average microwave meal, but it isn't that scary. Furthermore, a private jet, you remember how I said earlier that what's interesting is connecting with your average person? A private jet is not that. You're automatically leaving out 99.99% of people. The only people who will relate to a private jet experience are like, I don't know, rich people, or like people who are in first class, so rich people. I don't know. This one's an F tier. I'm sorry. This is not good. This is interesting because I think the 2 million creators or something like that, the using everybody who's a YouTube creator to add interest to the video is a great idea, but I actually think it's less interesting than the previous one. I think it's a good intro, but I think it's B tier. I don't know, I just didn't think it was that punchy. It kind of comes back. Also, I'm pretty sure there's water at the beginning. I'm pretty sure this is all edited in. This doesn't look real, looks fake. And if it is real, I mean, I guess it makes for a cool shot. Or again, maybe it's not. These people look kind of wet. No, they don't. They don't look wet at all. In fact, this does not look real at all. I'm a liar. I don't know. I actually don't know why I don't like this one as much, to be honest. Like, I feel like all the things it has are things that I enjoy, but it's just not great. It's not punchy. Like, I kind of want that intro to be like, bam, 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 bam. Like, you know, just keep hitting. But it doesn't. It just doesn't have that. So I'm gonna have to put it in. I mean, I think it's a B tier, honestly. I don't know. That seems right. It could be wrong. Survive 100 days in prison, win $500,000. So this is the most recent mrbeast video as of August 22nd, 2025. Maybe tomorrow there will be a new one, but that is the day that I'm recording this. So, oh shit, I'm watching the same one. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. They're all so similar. I just kind of, my eyes glazed over and didn't even think about it. That's kind of bad. Yeah, this one's actually not that great, which is weird because I've seen this video. It's actually pretty good. It's infuriating because I feel like the prisoner is not the brightest guy. Weirdly enough, it's like not a great intro. I'm not very enticed by it. Full disclosure, I watched this with some friends, so I watched it because they wanted to watch it. I was just kind of there for the ride, but I didn't actually get interested until way later in the video, which I think is a bad sign to begin with. Like, if it's gonna be a good video, even if I like particularly don't care about the concept. Well, I guess we just don't have video. There we go. Whoopsies. Even if I don't care about the video itself, I would think that if it's a good intro, it should sort of speak for itself in a way, if that makes sense. I don't know. I think this one is actually C tier. I guess this is it. This is from mrbeast's last 20 videos. This is how I personally rank them as your average viewer who's not really a mrbeast fan, but like watching these all for back to back to back to back. Now, I think what's interesting about these is even the F tier mrbeast videos, or intros, I should say, are significantly better than, like I said, 99% of YouTube intros. And as someone who is just starting on YouTube and Twitch, I am interested in this because if you want to actually grow and be better, you need to see what people who are better are doing. So theoretically, like, I should be copying this if I want to be a mrbeast type of content creator, which I personally don't, but there's still something to be gained even if you aren't going to be that, I would argue. Even if you are 1 million subscribers, there's probably something to learn from this, even if it's not the exact things I'm going to be taking away. But what I do take away from this is that if you're going to make an intro, first, you make it very short. Second, you make sure you kind of style like an essay, which is to say you create a thesis, you give some supporting arguments of like what's going to happen, or you outline what's supposed to happen. The third thing is that you make it extremely punchy. Like, there shouldn't be a moment to really think, which sounds horrible, like brain rotted, but you aren't able to actually interpret anything that's going on. You're just sort of watching as it keeps going. I'm going to take anything away from that. That's what I would take away as someone who is just starting. So yeah, I mean, but that's all the videos. I mean, that's all there is to it. I guess if you enjoyed it, I mean, you could always subscribe to my channel, you know, it's up to you. You can follow me on Twitch if you'd like. You don't have to. I don't know. I should probably, like I said earlier, make a face for the thumbnail. Perfect. All right. That's how the video will end. We'll just end with me staring at the screen. Perfect. All right. Bye.